banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. Monday Night Raw was an enjoyable show featuring two must-see matches, both a part of the King of the Ring tournament. And not only that, but if you couldn't tell, this was the start of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments for this year. Both will be concluding at Saudi Arabia, and I won't mention these two matches outside this point here. But there will be an additional match for the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments, which will be held on a live show. I believe those feature Kofi Kingston versus Rey Mysterio, and I don't quite recall what the women's match was. Hey, if you do, feel free to toss it down in the comments below. But, quite frankly, how would all of Monday Night Raw stand? But before we get into that, if you like daily wrestling content, your boy has it over here, so feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check your boy over on the Twitch, on the Twitter, on the main YouTube, and in the Discord as well. And let's get into the video. The show would open with the Judgment Day, which I can guarantee you will not be existing past Clash of the Castle. I am willing to put $10 on it. Nevertheless, the Judgment Days, Finn Balor would be taking on main event Jey Uso in the beginning of Monday Night Raw, and the start of the King of the Ring tournament, which surprisingly ended. Well, before I get to the ending, let me add a bit of preference. Drew McIntyre was scheduled to face off against Jey Uso, so opponent Finn Balor. However, due to Drew's injury, Jey Uso would ultimately fill his spot, something that he wouldn't exactly feel quite happy about. As near the end of the match, Drew McIntyre would make his appearance by ringside. However, it wouldn't mean much of a difference because in the end, main event Jey Uso would secure the victory, getting out of dodge before Drew could cause any harm. And quite frankly, I'm hyped to see what match we're going to get in round 2, but we'll get a bit more onto that in just a little. However, Drew McIntyre on his way out did not catch CM Punk, who was making his way into the arena, came down, cut an amazing promo, a little bit of Kendrick Lamar sprinkled in. But I will say this, if by some means Drew McIntyre is not able to win the world title at Clash of the Castle, should we have CM Punk win it and then Drew win the title off of him? I don't know, just a weird thought that popped into mind. Nevertheless, CM Punk demanded that Drew McIntyre drive back into the arena, as at this point he drove it off, not realizing CM Punk was there, even telling the crowd to go ahead and tweet at Drew to come back. But alas, the Scottish Psychopath was already long gone, and CM Punk would continue to talk his truck. Queen of the Ring would continue, or well, start, with that of Io Sky from Damage Control taking on none other than Natalya, ultimately coming out with a victory. Back to the King of the Ring side of things, one of the absolute most amazing matches we got for the night was Ilya Dragunov versus Ricochet, and truth be told, this is Dragunov. Did you expect anything else from this man? And on top of that, Ricochet too, they absolutely killed it, but in the end, the WWE Speed Champion will not be able to overcome the Tsar, and Dragunov moves on, and I am hyped to see what we do with Jey Uso versus Ilya. And if I can be honest, I'd say have Ilya win, maybe even win clean, although I strongly doubt that will happen. I can see a Drew McIntyre interference. That being said, I am down for a future Ilya versus Drew feud, so give it to me, Back to the Queen of the Ring side of things, Ivy Nile, which I don't even know if she's a part of the Creed Brothers faction anymore, took on Zoe Starks, which came out with a victory. A rare heel versus heel match would occur between Chad Gable and Big Bronson Reed, the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, which would ultimately be interrupted by Sami Zayn, the Intercontinental Champion. Unfortunately for Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, they would both be laid out in the end of it all by Big Bronson Reed, and it has been announced that at the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view, it shall be a triple threat match between these three, and truth be told, I see Sami Zayn walking out with the title, and I can see this transitioning to a one-on-one feud between Chad and Sami. Maybe Chad wins it. I don't know. Who knows? They might even throw a curveball in and have Big Bronson Reed win. This feels a little bit unpredictable for me. Maybe that is just me being too foolish. I don't know. But I would say Sami Zayn is most likely to come out with a victory here. Becky Lynch would have an interview with Michael Cole before she'd be interrupted by Liv Morgan. And then Damage Control will come out as well Unfortunately for Becky, Liv Morgan would ditch her in the middle of the ring by herself, and Becky would find herself getting jumped up until Laya Valkyria would make her way down to the ring to help Becky Lynch fend off Damage Control. And thus the next match, a part of the Queen of the Ring tournament, would begin. Laya Valkyria would take on Dakota Kai of Damage Control. And this is a pretty enjoyable match as well, featuring an amazing curb stomp spot on the ropes from Dakota Kai. But alas, in the end, only one member of Damage Control would make it to round 2, and Dakota Kai would not be her. Main event time, as Sheamus would take on Gunther for the 3rd time, and what may be the final time. And as they say, this is a banger, after banger, after banger. Every single time these two step in the ring each other, you know it's going to be a war, and poor Sheamus would find that out very, very harshly. Ludwig Kaiser would try and pull interference, but ultimately would not get out scot-free. The match would continue on, and by the end of it all, it would be the Ring General that would walk out victorious, chopping Sheamus halfway to hell to the point where you could see on the back, I believe, of Sheamus, a handprint mark. And I believe for the second time, one of the very few times Sheamus has ever done this, Sheamus would in fact tap out to the Ring General, and thus Gunther moves on in the King of the Ring tournament. And there will be more matches for the King of the Ring tournament, which will be happening on SmackDown, same for the Queen of the Ring tournament. And there will be a live show this weekend, I believe on Saturday, featuring a match, maybe one from both brands, maybe just one match in general for the King and Queen of the Ring bouts. But nevertheless, if you like the video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check your boy out on the socials, and I appreciate you for watching. See ya.